is Tarik Talk. Your host, Tarik Mendes, takes you on a journey with guests from all around the world. Broadcasting around the world. Around the world. This is Tarik Talk.
Alright guys, hello. Today I'm at Mena Contemporary with Heidi Kirkably did I get that right, Heidi?
Yes, almost.
Yeah, almost. Sorry. Would you mind telling us the correct way to pronounce? My apologies.
Well, in English, I suppose we could say Heidi Kirkeby.
Kirkably, yeah. It's a beautiful name. I love that name. And we are at the ESKFF residency program. Thank you so much for being here today with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I know you have the opening reception coming up, so thank you for making the time to meet with me. I'm very grateful. Right now we're in her studio, and I can't wait for you guys to see with all the videos and pictures I'm going to take and share. It's beautiful, especially her shoes. I love how her shoes has paint splashes on it. Very, very cool.
I splash everywhere.
Yes, no, I love that. I love like the small details. Do you want to start by telling us a little bit about yourself, please?
Well, yes, I am Norwegian. I live in Oslo, and I have my studio there. And well, I'm a visual artist.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a painter.
Mm-hmm. An amazing one at that, I must say. It's beautiful work. Because, I saw your work on pictures and videos, but it never does the justice. And I love the energy. It's so, like, fluid and free, and it really captures the viewer. Like, it sucks you in almost, and, like, it takes you, like, it feels like I'm in a dream. I don't know how to describe. Like, like the peace. I feel a lot of peace when I fly. Mm-hmm. And seeing your paintings give me, like, that tranquility, that relaxation, you know what I mean? Like that deep breath. So it's really beautiful.
Because that's something I really tried to make. I tried to paint atmospheres.
Oh, okay.
There are nature abstractions, but the atmospheres are the most important things to me. And then you can feel different kinds of atmospheres when you see the paintings.
Beautiful. I love that.
I can feel them, and the viewer will see different things depending on what their experience.
And do you like hearing like feedback on your work? Like, is that something you like, or you kind of avoid? Because a lot of artists, like, they don't want to hear anything, and they also don't like constructive criticism. But some people love, what the viewer and the experience that they have with the art. Are you like, is that something you look forward to, like hearing what people see and what they feel like when seeing your artwork?
Yes, I like people telling me what they see, and to be a better painter, you always need to hear the negative things as well,
yes,
and
that's
maybe
true.
try to do better
Yes.
the next time. So
yes.
It's better that people say what they really think, and then you can appreciate it when they say something positive as well, if they are telling what they really feel.
Absolutely. And what's your creative process like?
Well, if you think about my inspiration, is that what you're thinking about? Yes. Well, obviously it's the nature that's the most inspiring thing for me. So I do a lot of photos, and I get inspiration from wherever I am.
Oh wow!
And
okay.
also from other artists, and from going to museums and galleries and.
So that was actually. Oh, sorry.
Well, I'm really focused on the colors.
Mm-hmm.
They are very important to me. So I start by blending the colors to try to make some decisions of what I'm going to make. But after that, the process is really free. I try to do the paintings in an intuitive way.
Mm-hmm.
To just let it flow and not think too much.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to a point, I have to start thinking and
no,
to find
definitely.
out what to keep and what to paint over. So it results in many layers of painting.
I definitely get the vibe. Like, as I said, like, it's very peaceful. It also reminds me of like people's auras. Like the energy around their body. That's the vibe I get. And you mentioned like taking pictures. So when you're in nature, are you like taking pictures of everything and then coming into the studio and painting that?
I do the pictures, but I don't paint exactly what I have been photographing. But it's a kind of photo to remember what I saw, and I never paint the same But
Yeah.
it's a kind of inspiration in colors and composition, and then it turns out to be something completely else.
Got it. And do you find yourself like always thinking, or are you able to like be in the moment and enjoy like being in nature and going to museums, or is your mind like always thinking about like the next piece of art you're going to make?
Well, I am in the moment, but in some place in back of the mind, I always try to.
Are you able
store
to
the
like
things I
balance
want to-
both? Because I'm
Yeah.
always thinking like I wish I could like step back and relax. I'm always like thinking the next art, the next piece that I want to do. Like, are you able to like separate that and be like, okay, I'm going to relax and enjoy this, and then when I'm in the studio, create?
Yeah, well, I think I can relax in the nature, and to paint nature abstractions is also a way to highlight the value of nature in today's hectic society. Because I think we need that calm and that we can feel when we are out in the nature.
And I have to say, you have such good energy. I was just stuck in traffic, and I was like, oh my god, I don't want to be late to our interview. And just like your paintings, like as soon as I got here, very peaceful, very relaxed, and I was like, okay, let me calm down, let me chill, let me relax, you know. So I love it, like, because you know, a lot of times, sometimes the art doesn't really, like, you can't really connect the artist and the art because they're so different, you know what I mean? But you are so much like your art. It's so peaceful, chill, relaxing, and inviting. So thank you again for having me in your beautiful space.
Thank you.
And then, are you an artist that likes to create in the morning or nighttime? Like, do you have a preference, or whenever inspiration comes to you?
Well, I usually paint in daytime while others go to work, so then I can be with family and friends in the evening. So I'm not that kind of artist painting all night and sleeping in the day. I have regular
life.
hours. Yes, I like that.
Oh, that's amazing balance. And are you like when you get stuck, and let's say like you don't have any good ideas in the moment, how are you able to like go through that and kind of get inspired again to start creating?
Well, the painting is very frustrating from times to times, because sometimes you don't manage to do what you want.
Yeah.
But I have a creative diary where I write things, I paint colors, I cut out things, I put in there. So when I need some new ideas, I go back and look in my diary to find things, and I find something that can be used that I have collected years ago.
Yeah.
And also, I just have to start.
Yeah.
Just have to blend some colors and then start, and then it happens.
Do you have like a big archive that sometimes you go back to get inspired and redo things?
Well, as I told you, I have this creative diary that I use, and I also sometimes paint over my old paintings.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, because I don't like them that much any longer.
Yeah.
And I think I can see something new I can do with them, and then there are new layers and layers over that again.
Oh, wow.
So they become something new.
I like that, because I've interviewed previous artists where they tell me, including myself, like if I paint something I don't like it, I just throw it out, you know. But how does that work for you? Like when you're creating and it's not the way you planned it to be, do you put it to the side, or do you like start new, or you kind of push yourself to finish that?
Well, very often they turn out not to be what I anticipated. And sometimes I am surprised what I have made because I didn't think it would be like that.
Yeah.
But sometimes that turns out good, and other times it doesn't. So then when I feel a little stuck, I have to put it aside, and I can go watching it for many weeks before I know what to do.
Oh, wow. That's very nice. And you mentioned you go to museums. Is that something that you do a lot, like going to galleries and going to museums for fun?
Yes, I do that a lot. And now, especially when I'm here in New Jersey and New York, I've decided to study the art of Helen Frankenthaler.
Oh, wow.
So I have been to museums, and then I've also been to the Frankenthaler Foundation.
Oh, wow.
So I've seen a lot of her art, and I have read about her, and I used the inspiration from her art during this residency to make my own paintings.
And you mentioned your creative journal, like your creative diary. Do you keep that with you as you walk? Like you go to museums and like live your life and write down ideas, or it's just like it's like in the studio for you?
No, it's in the studio.
It's in the studio.
It's, I have a big book. It's too big
To carry.
around.
I can imagine.
I find my only small one here.
I see that. And do you keep like all of them? Like as soon as they're finished and there's no more space, do you keep all of them?
Oh yes.
Oh
I
wow,
do.
that's so cool. And like what's the earliest one you have? Like the first one, like around the year.
Well, sorry, what did you?
Like what was the first one you did? Like what year was the first one that you have? Like one of your creative journals.
Oh, that must have been some 15 years ago or something.
Wow.
The first
That's
creative diary,
amazing.
yeah.
That takes a lot of discipline. Good job.
But
I
I'm
love
not
that.
writing it every day. It's just when I
When you get the
have
inspiration,
some inspiration and ideas I want to write down or to paint or
Yeah.
sketch.
Oh well. And going back to your creative process, are you an artist that when you're creating, do you like to hear people's input while you're creating, or do you prefer like once you're finished with the painting to hear like constructive criticism, whether it's good or bad?
Well, I work in a space where we are many artists, so we do comment each other's works, but of course when you're in the middle of something and you know this is not what it's going to be, then criticism is not very useful because it's going to be something else.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait for the criticism till you feel now I don't know what more to do.
Oh wow, that's
and
very
I
nice.
reached a level where I need some advice.
I like that. I like that. And I noticed that all the paintings hanging in your studio, they're not framed. Is that because you're gonna roll them up and take them back home with you?
Yes, it is.
Very smart. Very
Because
smart.
I like to paint them on frames.
Yeah.
So you see, some of them have frames, but when I'm here, I have to take the canvases off the frames and
So-
then put on a new one.
And you said you like to paint them on frames, or you prefer
Yes,
like
on
the wall
frames
on frames?
because the canvas gets a little curly and
Oh,
bends.
I understand,
And,
yes.
I need to have it stretched.
Oh, I like that. That's very
And you
cool.
see, I paint flat.
Oh,
because
that was actually going to be my next question.
Yeah.
When you're painting, are you standing up, are you sitting down, or are you painting the paintings on the floor?
Mostly I paint them on a table, on a big table.
Uh-huh.
Because I have to paint them flat because I use a lot of water.
Oh.
And then it's flowing over. And if I have them up on the wall, it will be just pouring down, and I cannot control what happens.
Oh, wow. That's an amazing technique. I didn't know. Wow.
So, but right now this is on the floor because the stretching bars were so bad, so it bends in all directions. So I had to put some stones on top of it to make it
to hold the weight.
lie
Yeah,
flat.
I understand what you mean. And do you have a preference? Like, what's your go-to medium? Do you prefer like oil, acrylic?
I use acrylics.
Acrylic. Okay. Very nice. I see a lot of people. Is that because it's much easier, as you said, to use with the water to get like all the dimensions that you like and textures?
Well, it's easier to work with because of there are no toxic.
Yeah. And it dries much faster.
And it dries much faster.
Yeah.
So, well, when I started at art school, that's what we all had to do because they didn't have any good.
Oil,
What do you call it? Air conditioning, or what do you call it when you get the air to be shifted out?
I'm not sure. What do you mean? Sorry.
Well, no, we couldn't use the oil there, so that's why I started with it, and I have just continued
You loved it,
because
yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I prefer acrylic too, much more. It's more free. You know, you have more freedom. You're not like, because oil has so many rules that you have to follow.
Yeah, but I like the gloss you get from the oil. So
The oil,
now
yeah.
I actually put on some gloss on some of these paintings. I borrowed some gloss from one of the artists here at Mana to just try it out.
Oh,
Then
that's
it looks
so
a little
sweet.
more like oil when you have this gloss on.
And do you like being able to like be in this residency program, ESKFF, where you can like kind of like talk to other people and have like that creative community? Are you a big fan of that?
Yes, I really like that. And that's one of the important things well, I'm here to get the inspiration from other artists to see what they are doing and to hear about their process and maybe get some feedback on what I am doing.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And do you find yourself, like, sometimes when you're painting, like when you're painting, are you painting in the quiet? Are you listening to music? Like, do you have the TV on? What's that like process like for you?
Well, I like having some music. That's here where we are many people in the same room. We can't do that. So I miss that because in my studio at home I always have music.
Yeah. And what kind of genre do you like of music? Like jazz, rock?
Yes, some jazz, some like calm jazz.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I love jazz. And do you sometimes feel like, depending on the music, and not just your mood, but like the music you're listening to, that can like influence the outcome of your painting?
Yes, it can actually.
Yeah,
it can. So I have to have some music that suits to what I'm doing.
Oh, I like that. And like, what's the next step for you? Where do you see yourself after this residency program at Mana Contemporary?
Well, I'm going back to Norway, obviously, where I live, and I hope I can paint my whole life. I really love painting, and I'll have a solo show at my gallery in December. So then I'll probably show a lot of these paintings I've made here.
Oh, that's amazing. Do you mind telling us your Instagram just so people can like look at the work? Because I get a lot of like questions about the podcast where I normally wait till the very end to talk about the Instagram and the socials, but now people have been saying, say the socials first so we can like look at the artwork while we're listening to the podcast. So do you mind sharing with us your Instagram handle?
Yes, it's Heidi Jar Kirkeby.
Okay. Do you mind spelling that for us? Because it's a little complicated.
Yes, it's HeidiJahr.
Perfect.
KIRKABY.
Perfect.
It's a little long.
No, but that's good. It makes you stand out. And do you mind sharing your website as well, please?
Yes, that's heidikirkeby.no.
Okay, perfect.
And there you can find my Instagram as well.
Perfect. Yeah, that might be a little easier, right? And are you open to any commissions? Because I had a few previous artists. Once the podcast went live, other people were like reaching out to me to ask them. So I kind of like to put the info of the artist so they can directly reach out to you. Are you open to commissions? Like if somebody wants to message you and they want like a special painting for their loved one for a special like holiday or season, are you open to a commission?
Yes, I could be open for that. Yes,
yeah,
that would be nice.
It's always good, right? And then how early in your career, like in your life, did you know you wanted to be an artist?
Well, actually, I've always wanted to be an artist, but I studied economics.
Wow!
I have a master in economy.
That's amazing.
When I was an adult, I started to study art. So.
And did you always find yourself, like, as a kid, like, always drawing or, like, being interested in the arts? And did it ever, like, click with you? Because for me, it didn't. Like, I never thought, there's only, like, one Picasso and that's it. Like, this is once-in-a-lifetime person. Did you ever think, like, this is, like, something I would like to be full-time, but I don't know how that works? Or did you think, no, I have to get a real job, and if I'm lucky, I can do, like, art as a hobby?
Yes, it was kind of the last one because it's very difficult to live from being an artist. So as an economist, it was of course a very bad decision to become an artist. But I am lucky to be able to do this now.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you are because your work is beautiful. And do you find being from Norway, has being from that, like the country you were born in, impacted your work? Do you like find pieces of your culture in your paintings?
I suppose nature is a very important thing in Norway. It's a big country and we have few people.
Yeah.
And most Norwegians tend to use a lot of time out in the nature to be active in nature, to go hiking, skiing, bicycling.
Oh wow, so that was like something you just grew up in, like going to nature, being in nature.
So I always found calm and and joy in being in nature. So that's probably why you can see that in
Yeah,
my paintings
absolutely.
as well.
And what kind of nature do you like? Like, do you like just like walking in the forest, hiking, or like something crazy like kayaking or mountain climbing? What does nature mean to you?
I like all kinds
All
of
kinds
nature.
of nature.
I do. So both the mountains and the sea and the
Mhm.
forest and
Oh, wow.
the meadows. I like it all.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that. And then how many paintings have you created since you've been in this residency? Because it seems
Well,
like
I think I made 14 big ones.
14? Oh, wow.
And then some four or five smaller sketches.
oh wow, that is so
So
cool.
it's been a lot.
Yes, congratulations. You're very disciplined. I love it. And I like how it almost seems like all the paint, we're in her studio right now and I'm looking at her artwork. And it kind of seems like all of the paintings here are separate in their own, but they're almost like part of a family. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's almost like they're related in a way, but they're so different in their each uniqueness. And I really love that.
I think I have to pick some of them for the reception. It's too crowded
Okay.
here now because they are hanging too close to each other. But now I'm working on them, so they just need
No,
to
yeah, I
be-
see what you mean.
Just need to be surrounded by them to see what more to do
Yeah.
during the process.
So are you finished with the current paintings that you have in your studio right now, or will you be adding anything to it, or it's all ready?
No, most of them I think are finished, but I
Finished.
might add some things
Okay.
to some of them.
No, because I was going to say they look so beautiful.
Thank you.
They look really
Glad to
beautiful.
hear.
That's amazing. So how long has this residency been? Because I know it's like a summer residency. It's different from other ones.
Yes, it's only for July, so it's 1 month.
Oh, wow. And you
So,
did that many paintings in 1 month? Congratulations.
Well,
wow.
it's actually been only 3 weeks now.
3
and
weeks?
This week is the last.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing that not only you created 14 pieces, large pieces of art, smaller ones, and also as you said you had the chance to like go in the art scene.
Yes,
And
we've been very active.
Yeah. I need to know what kind of coffee you're drinking because I want the same one, please. Or maybe it's a lot of Red Bulls. And how do you see like the art scene in Europe versus like in America? Do you see like any difference?
Well, yes, I see that the prices are much higher here
Yeah.
in the States than at home. And, well, you know, New York is kind of the capital of art in the world, so you can, there's so much to see.
Yeah.
It's so big. There's
Yeah.
so many talented artists to
Yeah.
see.
And when you're like in museums or art galleries, are you like observing, like how do you take art? Like how do you see other people artwork? Do you just like quickly look at it? Like do you want to know everything about it? Do you try to see like where they started painting, where they finished it? Or you just like how do you get inspired by other artists?
Well, when I see something I like, I can study it and study the brush strokes, the compositions, the colors, taking some close-up photos to see what they've been doing. But when I see something I'm not interested, I could
You
walk
just go-
quite quickly by and choose the ones I
love
really
that.
like.
And do you have like a favorite artist? Like when people ask you, like you're like, oh, this artist. Or do you have a few artists?
Yeah, well, maybe right now it's Helen Frankenthaler,
Mhm,
since
as you
that's,
previously mentioned, yeah.
I'm studying right now.
Mhm.
But as a Norwegian, I of course love Edvard Munch.
Oh, yeah. And do you also find inspiration in other fields of art, like music, fashion, or is your inspiration like mainly in the art world?
Well, mainly in the art world, but I also do some sculpturing.
Okay. Fabulous. And going back to when you're in the creative process, like in your studio, you mentioned you listen to jazz. Do you mind sharing with us like who your favorite albums or singers are that you're always listening to?
There are so many.
So many.
It's difficult to pick
it's
someone,
okay.
yeah.
It's okay. Do you want to tell me a little bit more about your work, like the description and more info?
Well, these nature abstractions, they, as I told you, they express atmospheres, and these atmospheres can also be interpreted as personal moods.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
I
love
hope
that.
that's something people can feel when they see the
Yeah.
paintings.
No, absolutely. And just now that I'm here in your studio, once you're in nature, like, do you see your paintings like when you get inspired while you're in the moment? Do you see your paintings like finish right there and then? Or as you mentioned, it's just kind of like a journey that once you start, you don't know where it's going to take you.
Oh, it's a journey.
It's a journey.
I live with my paintings on the wall for quite a long time, and they can maybe be hanging there for a month, and then I suddenly see I have to change these colors or this composition, and well, they're kind of maturing.
Yeah, no, I love that. And did you ever paint something that you didn't understand at the moment, but then maybe like weeks or months went by, you like reflected back and you're like, oh my gosh, what I was going through in my life makes so much sense in this painting? Did that ever happen to you?
Yes, that can happen, and I also feel I get influenced by the seasons.
Uh-huh.
When it's spring, it tends to be lighter colors.
Lighter,
Winter, it tends to get darker
Darker,
colors, even
yeah.
if I don't really think that much about it. It just happens.
And do you have a favorite season?
I like them all.
You like them all?
Yeah.
Do you ever notice like which season you're able to like create the most or have like the most amount of work done, or?
Well, that's probably the winter time, because
Winter.
then I have most time to do the paintings.
Yeah, and there's not much to do, so why not just create art, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's cold outside and you
Perfect.
have time to be inside to do the work. Yeah.
Love that. Well, thank you so much, Heidi, for being on the podcast. Thank you for having me. I know you have a reception Thursday. I know you're super busy, so I really do appreciate you taking the time to meet with me, and I'm very grateful. Yeah, I would definitely say follow Heidi. Do you want to share again your Instagram and we'll just share your website, whatever you're comfortable with, in case people want to double check.
Yeah, so I think the easiest would be to go to my
Website,
heidikirkeby.no.
NO. Perfect. Thank you so much again, Heidi. It's been a pleasure.
Thank
you.
Thank you for listening to Tarik Talk. Follow Tarik Talk on all social media channels and check out the video interviews online. This is Tarik Talk. Your host, Tarik Mendes, takes you on a journey with guests from all around the world. Broadcasting around the world. Around the world. This is Tarik Talk.
Hey guys, I'm so happy to be here today with Jay Golden. I'm at the Men of Contemporary, and he's one of the artists of the ESKFF residencies, and I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for being here, Jay.
Thank you for having me.
How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. A little bit tired, but...
A little bit tired? You got this. You got this. I know today's the closing reception, so we're here like early in the morning, so I really appreciate you taking the time for me to do this interview prior, because I know you must be so busy with like getting the studio ready and everything like that. Right? So do you want to start off telling us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Jay Golding. I'm a figurative artist. A lot of my work is kind of inspired by my Jamaican heritage, infused with the influence that African culture has had in my life since I was a child. So a lot of my stuff, you'll see figures wearing masks from Africa. Mexico, I was recently there during the pandemic, so just the inspiration I got from being there and the people and some of the ceremonies I did just started to seep into the work, and that's actually been the biggest inspiration so far in the series that I'm working on. But from Jersey for the most part. I left Jamaica when I was 7, and throughout my life I used to draw on and off. It wasn't something that I really looked at as a career, and it wasn't until after I left high school where I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and I just said, let me study art. And after I studied at Keene. After I went to Keene and just had really good mentors that kind of helped me just learn the basic fundamentals, it just pushed me to really take it another step further.
Oh, that's dope. And do you think being from another culture has like influenced your work?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah?
Definitely. I think even just the way that I interact with other people and interact with people from different cultures, it's kind of, for me, it feels more natural, because I remember just coming here, being an immigrant, and going to school for the first time and having a heavy accent and seeing how people responded to the way that I spoke. And so whenever I go other places and meet other people from other cultures, it's just there's that relationship I feel that I just automatically have with them.
Mm-hmm. That's really dope. Thank you for sharing that. And what's your creative process like in your studio? Are you like an artist that go in the morning? Like, do you prefer to work in the morning, the nighttime, the afternoon?
So it kind of changes. It shifts. I go through these weird shifts where sometimes I like to work very early, and then other times I'll be up late. As of lately, it's been more. I come in the morning, and then by like 5-6 p.m. I'm usually out of the studio.
Oh wow!
And then I just go and rest. But then there's some moments where, for whatever reason, I'll just be up late till like 3 a.m. sometimes. Oh, wow. And I'll just be like a night owl. So I go through these weird back and forth shifts within just how I stay up at night, or just morning person, night person, morning person, night person.
So you're just like basically like spontaneous. Just
I just kind of let especially creatively. Yeah, I would say especially creatively. A lot of times now I like to just allow whatever that creative flow is at the moment. I kind of let that set the pace, and then I just meet it halfway and just work with it from there.
Oh, that's pretty dope. And then do you get inspired by like other people? Like, you're an artist that you kind of have to be by yourself, or do you enjoy like having people around you or pets or anything like that?
So that's another one where it's kind of like both. Like with this residency, it's been beautiful because all the other artists, it's such an international group as well. So I've just been learning a lot from all the other artists. Like, I'll take a break sometimes when I'm painting and go sit with Louise.
Oh, wow.
Leonard,
shout out to Louise.
Yeah, or Leonard, Patricia, and just we'll have conversations, and we'll give each other feedback on our work. So having that has been very great, because the last time I had something like that was when I was actually studying in school. And so I can go without that, but it feels really great to have it. So I think the main thing is just that balance. Yeah.
And when you get in the studio, like, what's your routine like? Do you get to work right away? Do you need like a coffee, like read the paper, chill out for an hour?
Usually tea. Like, I'll usually, if I get here before everyone else, I'll usually just unwind a little bit and just kind of look at some of the pieces that I started working on and just kind of take it in. And usually I'll go over to where Louise is, because she has the tea maker. So I'll usually go over there and start making tea, and then she usually come in right around that time, and we'll have a chat, and then I'll usually get to work.
I have to share something. You have like very good energy and very good vibes.
Oh, thank you.
And I swear, like, everybody that has good energy and good vibes, they always start, like, they're an artist, they always start with tea. So that's so funny, because I just recently observed that, like, interviewing different people, or like going to my friend's studio. Like, when I see tea, I'm like, I can always tell because they're chill. But when I say coffee, I'm like, okay, they're more like get to work. They don't have patience, because I'm like that. Like, I drink like 5 espressos in the morning. I don't have patience for anything until I get to work.
Leonard's like that. Leonard loves coffee. Yeah, he's always. Him and Patricia, they both are coffee drinkers. Okay.
And did you ever do a collaboration with any artist, like painting wise or art making?
Yeah. So I have a bunch of collaborations actually, and that's something that I've been thinking about lately, about actually presenting that soon. So the last collaboration I did, had to be about last year, actually. A friend of mine he lives in Bushwick. He's an amazing tattoo artist. He actually did these 2 tattoos. Right?
I was checking that out. That's dope.
He goes by Above the Spell.
Wow, this is cool too.
Yeah.
That looks like, what is that? Looks like Polynesian inspired.
That's like, he can probably tell you better, but that's like some of these, he calls it like his cosmic symbols. And so he creates them. He told me that this little triangle right here is a mushroom, actually.
Oh, that's dope.
And these are like some of his characters that he creates. So that's really dope. Amazing artist.
We're talking about his tattoos right now, and if you're comfortable, I'd love to share those on Instagram so people get a vibe and they know what we're talking about. That's pretty dope, because that kind of looks like a little Murakami, but like more like fun and chill,
Which one? This one?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
like the
yeah, you would love his work. I'll show you his work.
That's really cool. Yeah, we'll definitely share that on the Instagram. And then also, like, who's your influences? Like, who are you inspired by? Is it like only in the art world, music, fashion, architect?
Okay, so I'm gonna start with the art for a little bit. So, in terms of like the painters and things like that, it's a mixture. It was when I was in school, I studied Caravaggio a lot, just like his techniques. Frida Kahlo in terms of just her ability to express her emotions. I really like that about her. So I kind of like studied that about her and just like tapped into that to just really be more vulnerable with some of my work. Picasso came a little bit later. I didn't really care for Picasso when I was in school, but a little bit of Van Gogh, Michelangelo, like some, Norman Rockwell. One of my mentors is actually, he studied under Rockwell, so learned a lot from him. And as of lately, there's a bunch of artists that I've just been finding through Instagram. So a bunch of the young artists that are doing things now. One is Raylis Vasquez. He's an amazing Dominican artist. Kyrie Turner, Chloe Wise. There's so many artists. And then in terms of fashion, my cousin is more into fashion, so I don't really follow fashion brands. But in terms of fashion, I would say like if I just see anything that's kind of like African inspired in some way, or even like anything that has like a ninja aesthetic, I'm drawn to.
Dope.
I'm very drawn to those types of looks. So sometimes I play off of that a little bit and try to incorporate some of those to my works, like even like ancient Greek mythology armor. Like sometimes I'll blend that and blend it with African culture types of fashion and put that on some of the characters, because mythology is also another theme that is very like woven into my work. So.
You should come to Brazil. Like a lot
I have friends in Brazil now, so I'm definitely gonna
check
visit
it out.
them.
We'll definitely like link up and stuff.
Is that where you're from?
Yeah, I'm from Brazil.
Everyone tell me I need to go.
I feel like you would love like the North. Art and architecture, because very much like as you mentioned before.
My friend Matthew, who's there now, he was actually 2 years ago, like during the pandemic, or 3 years now, I would say, left Jersey for a little bit with my cousin and some friends, and went to California just to be there for a month, and then that turned into 4 months.
Oh wow!
And then I ended up in Tulum.
Oh
for
wow!
Like 4 months.
That's amazing.
And during that 4 months time in Tulum, my friend Matthew, who was with us, he met someone Lais, who's Brazilian, and he ended up going out there with her, and they have a baby now.
Wow!
And so they always tell me, you need to come. And Matthew says all the time, like, Brazil is just like a bigger Jamaica. That's what he always tells me.
Yeah, we have like a huge Jamaican population. Like one of my mom's best friends, she met this lady. She was Jamaican, and they were both like they were both pregnant, about to give birth. So they just, I guess, met somehow each other in the hospital. And me and her kids are still friends to this day. Wow. She taught me like the juk and twist. Taught me like a lot of stuff, like a lot of like slangs and stuff. But it's always the best food, the best culture. Like I love how like the family orientation is. How everybody's so close to help. Like even with strangers, like they just help out everybody. Then needs help. I really admire that. And going back to the residency, like what's next for you here? Like after this?
So after this, I've been just really looking at getting some more opportunities in New York. So there are a few galleries and just other residencies and other opportunities that I've been just looking to apply to and getting going. And tomorrow I actually have a show at Aquaba Gallery in Newark.
Oh wow! Okay.
So.
And how long would that show last for?
That show's up until the end of July, I believe. It's a part of, there's like a festival going on right now. It's called North to Shore.
Oh, I don't know.
And it's like a 3-city between Asbury Park, Newark, and I can't remember the third city. Asbury Park, Newark, and another city. And they have like different performances going on in different parts of it.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah.
So her show is in conjunction with Aquaba Gallery, is run by Caribbean curator Laura Palmer, and so she's having, it's a group show with me and a bunch of other artists from Jersey, and
that's really cool.
Definitely honored to be a part of that show.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely excited. If I might be away, but I'll definitely try to make it. And I'll share that on Instagram too if you're comfortable with that.
Yeah, of course.
But what I wanted to ask also is, you mentioned that you're in California and Tulum. Do you find that experience and that traveling like somehow ends up in your work? Yeah, definitely. I did so much work in California, and I met a really amazing family there that they still they've been looking after a lot of the work I did when I was there, because shipping is so expensive. Yes. But with California, the early months that I was there, I did a couple
landscape paintings of just my environment. So I did one of the beach as well, and so that was pretty much where it stopped in terms of the California influence in that work. But Mexico definitely, a lot of the culture there definitely seeped into my work, even till now. Just like the Mayan culture, and after I left Tulum, I went to Jamaica for 6 months, and then I went back to Mexico, and then I was in I was in Merida, like that region.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, love it over there.
I haven't been, but I heard it's beautiful.
Yeah, you would love it.
Yeah.
You would love it. The culture out there is so
yeah,
rich. Like,
I love Mexico, yeah.
The art, the music. Like, one time I was walking down the street, and there was just this guy walking, just playing a saxophone. Uh-huh. Just very casual.
Yeah,
and they have this beautiful jazz club and restaurant.
Oh, wow.
And it's open till like, I think, like 3 a.m.
Wow.
And so like they have like an upstairs rooftop area where you just have bands from all over.
That's
just
dope.
amazing. Yeah.
Wow.
One of the, I think, and my friend Rodrigo was actually telling me that.
Is he Brazilian?
No, he's from Guadalajara. His father's from Spain, and his mother is.
I was asking. That's like a very common Brazilian name.
Rodrigo.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but he was telling me that Merida is actually like basically the safest city in Mexico, and beautiful. Yeah, it was. There's actually some elements of it too that kind of remind me of being here, like the Northeast.
Yeah.
Just some of their downtown areas. There would be times where I felt like I was in Jersey City a little bit, and just beautiful, the architecture, everything.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's dope. And then going back to ideas and inspirations, where does ideas come for you? Like, because you mentioned you travel a lot. That's where my ideas come from when I'm in motion, like in a plane or driving. Yeah. Where do ideas come for you? Like, is it like when you're sleeping, when you're just like chilling out, or what's that process like for you?
Yeah, it's a mixture. Sometimes when I'm taking a shower, sometimes from books. So like I'll keep certain books around me, just for, especially like I have books that have like a lot of African art in there and masks, and so sometimes I'll pull from that. Sometimes a thought will just come to me, just randomly, and sometimes it really is just those things, traveling, sitting on a bus somewhere in Mexico and just looking out the window, and just seeing a scene, just seeing like a family walking or something, and all of a sudden like an idea comes to me. So and
what's that process like for you? Do you like write the idea down? Do you like leave it in your head to like incubate? Do you go to like your notes app, or like how does it work for you? Like when you see something,
a lot of time I like to take pictures. So if it's something that, if I'm like looking at something specific in my environment, and I'm like, oh whoa, this I immediately see an idea. I'll take a picture of that, and then I'll add on to it with other ideas, or sometimes even when I'm in the studio and I'm in the process of creating, other ideas will just come in the midst of while I'm painting, and then I'll just either remove something and add that to it, or just add that onto what I was already doing.
And I have a question. You mentioned sometimes you get in early and you leave by 6 or 5ish. Yeah. How do you handle? Because I get like a lot of people ask this question. Like ask me to ask the people I interview. Like how do you handle like when you go to the studio, you show up, you do the work, but then like it's just like an off day. Like how are you able to bounce back from that? Like do you kind of push yourself to stay there until the product is finished, or do you like chill out and come back, like try to come back a different day?
Yeah, I'll usually chill out. And the cool thing about being here at ESKFF and having the other artists around is that sometimes I use that as time to just go sit down and see what Leonard's doing, or have a chat with Louise. Me and Louise, we've bonded the most out of everyone here. So we have a lot of talks just about African culture. Sometimes she'll like share her insights with me. Sometimes I'll just look at her work and just get feedback. Yeah,
you guys should do a collab.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
I think that'd be great too.
Yeah, that would be dope.
If she has time. I think she's leaving next Wednesday, so we'll see.
And then this residency, I believe today is the last day. Is that correct?
So today's the closing reception. The 28th, which is next Wednesday, is like the final day.
Last day.
That's when we move everything out, and another group is going to come for, I think they have a summer residency.
Oh, okay, got you. Yeah. And then can you share with us your Instagram and website, just so, because you have like the events coming up, so people can like keep track and attend your upcoming show? Yeah,
definitely. So the Instagram is jgoldingart, JayGoldingart, and the website is jgolding.art.
Got it. And then if people want to reach out for you for commission, are you open to like commission? Because I had a previous guest.
At the moment, I'm not doing commissions, but hey, I mean, if the price sounds
the idea is
appealing,
dope.
Then
Okay, sounds good. Do you want to share with us what you're working on in the moment?
Yeah, so right now one of the series out of the many that I'm working on is it's a series of this royal family, and they're from a village called Majiablu, that's Swahili. Louise has also been helping with Swahili, yeah. So a lot of the works I'll title and give Swahili titles and things of that nature. And a lot of these characters, they have purple skin, and they have their own symbols. So these are all symbols that I've created myself and just gave meaning to as well. So it's gonna be like a whole universe.
And what kind of medium do you use? Do you have a preference like between oil or acrylic or oil sticks?
Oil is like my ultimate favorite, but I haven't been using oil much in the past few years because it was just easier to travel and use acrylic, and so I've just still been like in that zone of just using acrylic. But I think after this residency ends this summer, I'm just gonna go right back to mostly doing oils.
Got you. And will you be based like in Jersey or?
Yeah, I'll be in Jersey for I want to say through the fall. I do have some plans to travel, but things have been falling through a lot recently, so I don't know. It's kind of like up in the air.
Got you.
I'm supposed to be going to Ghana at some point.
Oh, that's so amazing. Oh, wow, that's so cool.
That's also another place that's like heavily inspired by my work.
Are you doing like a residency there?
No, so in Ghana, my aunt, I have family there.
Oh,
so
wow.
My aunt, she's my mother's sister. She's had land in Ghana for years, and during the pandemic, she moved out there for good, and she's building a village. So,
oh wow,
yeah, she granted me a piece of land. In the
wow,
village,
that's beautiful. That's amazing. Congrats.
I have to go over there and like survey and look at the land and figure out how I want to build and things of that nature.
Yeah,
so.
Please take as many pictures as you can so we can like live through you and your adventures there.
Definitely,
that would be dope. Yeah, Jay, thank you so much for being on the podcast. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Likewise.
I wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. I'm so excited for everybody to come check your work out today at the MENA ESKFF reception. Congrats on that again. And it was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you for being on the podcast.
Likewise. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Tarik Talk. Follow Tarik Talk on all social media channels and check out the video interviews online.